One often wonders why museums are so filled with pictures and statues. Is it because man has lost touch with nature and therefore has to go to these museums to look at the other people's paintings, famous paintings, and some of them are really marvelously beautiful? Why do the museums exist at all? I'm just asking. I'm not saying they should or should not. And I've been to many museums all over the world, taken around by experts. And I've always felt I was as though I was being shown around and looking at things that was so, for me, artificial, so other people's expression, what they considered beauty. And I wondered, what is beauty? Because when you read a poem of Keats, or some really a poem that a man writes with his heart and with very deep feeling, he wants to convey something to you of what he feels, what he considers to be the most exquisite essence of beauty. And I've looked at great many cathedrals, as you must have, over Europe. And again, this expression of their feelings, their devotion, their reverence to, in masonry, in rock, in buildings, in marvelous cathedrals. And looking at all this, I'm always surprised when people talk about beauty or write about beauty, whether it is something created by man or something that you see in nature, or it has nothing to do with the stone or with the paint or with the word, but something deeply inward. And so I've often, in discussing with so-called professionals, having a dialogue with them, it appears to me that it's always somewhere out there. The modern painting, modern music, the pop, and so on, it's always somehow so dreadfully artificial. I may be wrong, but so what is beauty? Must it be expressed? That's one question. Does it need the word, the stone, the color, the paint, or it is something that cannot possibly be expressed in word, in a building, in a statue? So if we could go into this question of what is beauty, I feel to really go into it very deeply, one must know what is suffering, or understand what is suffering. Because without passion, You can't have beauty. Passion in the sense, not lust, not the passion that comes when there is immense suffering, and the remaining with that suffering, not escaping from it, brings this passion. Perhaps, and passion means the abandonment, the complete abandonment of the me, of the self, the ego. And therefore, a great austerity. Not the austerity of, as the word means, ash, severe, dry, which the religious people have made into, but rather the austerity of great beauty.
Yes, I'm following you. I really am.
The great sense of dignity, beauty, that is essentially austere. And to be austere, not verbally or ideologically, but being austere, means total abandonment, letting go of the me. And one cannot let that thing take place if one hasn't deeply understood what suffering is. Because passion comes from the word sorrow. I don't know if you've gone and looked into that word. The root meaning of the word passion is sorrow, from suffering.
To feel.
To feel. You see, sir, people have escaped from suffering. I think it is very deeply related to beauty. Not that you must suffer. I don't know if I'm...
Not that you must suffer, but...
Yes. No, we must go a little more slowly. I'm jumping too quickly. First of all, we assume we know what beauty is.
Yes.
We see Picasso or a Rembrandt or a Michelangelo, and we think, how marvelous that is. We think we know. We've read it in books, the experts have written about it, and so on. One reads and says, yes, we absorb it through others. But if one was really inquiring into what is beauty, there must be great sense of humility. Wasn't there? I mean, no, I don't know what beauty is. Actually, I can imagine what beauty is. I have learned what beauty is. I have been taught in schools, in colleges, reading books and going on tours, guided tours and all the rest, visiting 1,000 museums. But actually, to find out the depth of beauty, the depth of color, the depth of feeling, the mind must start with great sense of humility. I don't know. This one doesn't know what meditation is. One thinks one knows. When we discuss meditation, will come. So one must start, I feel, if one is inquiring into beauty, with great sense of humility, not knowing. That very not knowing is beautiful.